This is day 956 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Like to sponsor of Kamashir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please find me directly. Very greatly appreciated. Through the Sima Tov Resh Mem Hey, Sif Yud Gimel to Sif Chaf Aleph. Yud Gimel. Lo Ayu Alin Keder Kol They didn't overlap. And was that Taka said one ended below the other? Teams underneath each other. If the tip of the bottom one reaches the top of the upper one, so the entire spine of the lulav is covered with leaves, kosher, it's okay. If the tip of the bottom one does not reach the roots of the top one, or it doesn't have many leaves one on top of each other, that will be called tzad yotzei echad lamata samach likaro. One leaf comes out of the bottom near the root base, and rosh goes all the way to the top. Possible. They change the hodar because not hodar. The rosh gemara high lulav is like chadhutza. The rosh gemara is that lulav which comes ends or it's Solik. I always thought it was something at the end of it, but here I see it's like that it goes up the side with one leaf. Ba'mumu puzzle. It's all included in one leaf. One leaf can be one leaf, period, or one leaf on top of another leaf, on top of another leaf, up. It has two leaves on both sides, and each side, kosher. Brackets, that would show it doesn't have many leaves, that's language of the Torah. It's not because it doesn't have many leaves, but most lulav of them have many leaves. Not good duke. Lulav, most of whose leaves have dried, is possible. They know harder. It's not harder. So too, if the spine is dried up, even though leaves have not, puzzle. It really doesn't exist. Come on. The leaves dry up before the spine. In order to be dry, it has to be that no longer looks green. It has no green sheen to it, and it's completely whitish. Some say that even that's not dry. Unless it cracks with a nail, your fingernail. Because it's so dry. It says in the northern regions where it's hard to get a fresh lulav, so they're more makel on yavish. So Shulchan is a really big lulav. Some is not green, no greenery, it's called dry. You should be careful, very careful about this. Especially now, in our day, loving. Evidently, the time of the Arukh HaShulchan, already there was a big business. Also, don't ask me, but it says that in those countries they cultivate lulavim, vadasim. Not a lulav which is turned white, but certainly not the first day Davi the Raisa. Rambam kosher lulav. Okay, so maybe you should take it even though you can't make a bracha. And when you soak it in water, comes a little bit of the green comes back. Evidently, Arukh HaShulchan tried this out. Does not go dry, the kosher, it's kosher. It's the true without any halachic question of this sort. If you have dry blood, so when you soak it, it goes back to being moist. It's like moist blood. Azov, the mission of Azov, Vania, I don't remember what that is. I think it's some sort of mucus. Varok, and the saliva, Vasheretz, and a rodent, Vanavela, and a carcass, Vashich Zera, and the semen. Matami lachim, they're matami when they're moist. Matami besh, they're not matami if they're dry. Michom lashros lachzor kamosha hang, if they can be soaked and return to their original state, being moist. Matami, they're tami ayin sham. So the eating which changed, we go after now. Which means we can restore it, go back after the restored state. You'll say that there was a time which is not suitable, which pushed it off from being suitable altogether. No, before you got it becomes green again, and it's a decoy car because there's no decoy before the time of the mitzvah. But even it's a mitzvah. We pass and there's no rejection by mitzvahs, which is why Saint Tov Reshim and Bam here hadas ayin sham. There's hadassim. Tez zayin. Shana niyama mishnah. Let's in the mishnah. Niktam rosho. If the top was snapped off, apostle. The low have hard. That's not hard. The pirush or rosh v'atur shall never see vav. That is sheniktamu rov alim al yonim. Most of the top leaves have been snipped off, broken off. Apostle. But this says it's even just the two upper middle leaves. That's a little which has two middle leaves. So if you have they have two middle leaves and they're loving. Not loving. What's that? Loving if the middle leaf on top, the tyomes was cut off, puzzle. So that's a Magen Mishnah. Perches din gimosh. Shiktam rosha young. The proper interpretation is when the on top of the middle, the upper leaf is broken, snapped. That one which the lulav ends, that's possible. If the middle upper leaf, shalshed on the spine gets snapped, puzzle. The lulav is no good. Mishnah says that it's possible that there are two upper leaves and only one of them got snapped off. It's possible you can make them. It says Begur Yaakov also thinks you can be make them, perhaps. However, the Ramah says only if you don't have another lulav. We have another lulav. But there is no other lulav. You can't make a bracha on it. Mishnah says where Eliyahu Rabbah says the Ramah is makel where the top leaf is snapped, but not when most leaves are snapped. And even the top leaf, it's possible that you shouldn't be makel to make a bracha on it unless only part is snapped off. But now the majority is snapped off, even b'shas l'chak. Okay, that's the Mishnah Berurah. Let's see what Arukh HaShulchan says about it. Viksholav, they asked about on the Ramah. That's right, according to the first opinion, only the majority of leaves are snapped is the problem. This opinion, the originator of this opinion holds if you don't have another lulav, do make a bracha on this lulav. So that's the Mordechai. That's what Mordechai says. Zehulo Kasas, Rak Hadas, he only writes us about Hadas, Abu Lulav. I guess Mordechai only writes us about Hadas. But by Lulav, before you shine the apostle, Nation Zahar. You can't make a bracha on even the Evet. The Hadas Maskim Gemara, that he was supposed to be sharing below Lulav. Hadasim, it says even the three of them are snapped, it's okay, but not by Lulav. The Lulav apostle, Nichtam Kol Shiva. So by lulav, it's snapped, it's possible all 7 days. Yud Zayin. Velini, it seems to me, the Dvav Tzaikim. The most correct. I forgot to talk about Robalin. Even the Torah said the problem is when it's when most of the leaves, Umi Divrei Rosh. Because when Rosh come Rosh, that's more okay. Rosh does not write that. Shekosab, he writes, Lichora Nira, Mefarish. And similar to about the two middle, two middle upper leaves. It's difficult to have Gemara. Neither Yom is possible that Yom is as smooth as possible. I feel beniktam possible. If it's snapped, it's possible. Kosh came neat logamer, certainly if it is completely removed. So it's interesting. The Rosh makes a distinction between snapped, but still there, and completely removed, saying even though we're talking about snapped. So if snapped is possible, kal v'chomer, that if it's completely removed, it's possible. So I have to say the niktam rov halin v'lashon dachuk. You have to say that niktam is actually talking about when the head of most of leaves are snapped. Even though it's difficult to put that in the words. Also, you could say the nitla is a lashmina. That tells the chiddush of nitla that it is a chiddush. Why? Since you don't have a dangling piece there, it's better than niktam. Therefore, it's commercial. Therefore, they have to tell us it's not. So the words of the Rosh are like the words of the Tosfos. Now, it's not about the majority of the he does mention majority, but then he falls off of it. We don't find it all. Misheno Soverkin. Somebody doesn't hold that way. The Mishnah Reef or Rambam, stomach tie niktam rosho. It says the top is snapped. Then it's sweet to be a tush because of the local monoskaskasarosh. The two is difficult. Okay, local sub loshin yeshmim. And therefore he didn't write language yeshmim. Shum the sfile that kom moyim zeh. He holds everybody agrees with this. Bialocha says there are different opinions in Mechaber or more of the same opinion here. Can't say the Mordechai Meyer Gam Belula. And saying the Mordechai is also about Lula. Then Niklam is okay, as long as not the majority. That's a Rama. She's person to Vrishman Das. Machsher Belu Yavish, who says Lulu of Yavish is cautious, also Niktam. Because the Magin Mishisha going so we can't. Yavish and Niktam, Rosha, the Magin Mishisha says explicitly that from here the Gonim relied that the dried or snap, the top, the club psulim any other psul, Yaitza Bishas and Chaki, Yaitza Bishas under pressure circumstances, after Rishon, even on the first day of Kamishon. Shami's barber said, let me explain there. Can shop become Rabbi Ramah, the leg Achem Barcher love. So the Ramah says is legitimate, so to speak. That if the middle one is snapped, there's no one else snapped, not cut off. That you can make a bracha. Let me just clarify this. Yeah. Yeah, as long as the majority ones are not snapped, you can make a bracha. Okay, Yuches, Nizdak kosher. If it's cracked, it's kosher. Nizdaku Rashi Alin. When the tips of the leaves are cracked. But two cracks become distant from each other, so it looks like two separate leaves, even though it was originally one leaf, and now it looks like two separate leaves. Puzzle. It's no good. It's not one leaf. It has to be most of the leaves. They're distant. I feel that even if the middle upper leaf is intact in a manner that it's not going to see nechlikot yomes, since most leaves are cracked, it's possible. So you can't ask das harif. But Rambam, most leaves are split. It's possible no matter what. Nistak kosher. I would say if it's nistak, if it's cracked, it's kosher. Then it's not a question. Nechliku means when most of their length is split. Have a nistaku but cracked, have a rak b'roshon. It's only on the top. L'chein rak b'nisrachu possible. Only when it became distant, so it's already much more relief that it's possible. I don't know if it's going to be down this Kehemnik here, but there's a Chumra the Chaznish that Nista Kehemnik, which means that two sides go like that, is that it's possible even in the Mashu, that even a tiny Nistak and the top leaf, it's possible. So it's a Chumra, because that's not what it seems like from here. Your test, if it has certain types of thorns, which are also in its spine, or it's mas, or it became shriveled, nichavetz, also a similar word, kachoyle, like a sick person, a varav, whose limbs have become, what's the word I just used? Shriveled. Which is a strong form of shriveling. Oshu akam of, or it bends to its front. It's strongly bent towards the spine. It's like it's humpbacked puzzle. Also, if it's humps to, if it bends to the sides, it's puzzle. I feel even bends only to one side. It bends to backwards. The other side of the spine, that's kosher, that's okay. The back of the spine. So that's how they normally grow. Also, it's not naturally crooked. Because it's soft, it's sagging at its tip. It's possible. It's only if the spine is sagging. If the spine is straight, but the leaves bend at the top. Like many lulavim are kosher. It's okay. Bank whichever way they bend. Rush was pro those which are bent. Because the leaves don't split and the tiomas remains intact. They call in Yiddish a kneppel, and that means that the leaf bends over itself. It's like growing back into itself. Only the top leaves which are bent over a bit. All the leaves are bent. A little bit, a rubon, or the majority of leaves are bent. Even possible, it's no good. Those are argued. It's only if the tips of the leaves are bent. But the leaves are severely bent to the bottom. It's possible. And some people are not happy even with that kneppel lulav where it's just a little bit bent. Mr. Brewer on this. Mr. Brewer brings down both opinions. It says when there's just one leaf, you got Acher. There's another lulav in town. So you should be you should be careful not to be yotzi with this one, where most where the all or most of the leaves are bent. Which says if the body of the leaf it bends very much towards the middle and looks like it is bent over into two, it's possible. And also, if the top middle leaf is bent by itself very much to the middle, also it's possible. Mr. Brewer also says, in Sharatzin saying, somebody on Machmir, and by the middle top leaf, if it's bent at all, unlike the rush, but the minute is meko like the Shulchan Aruch. The place where they plant lulavim adasim in pots inside the house. And only lulavim adasim and use these potted lulavim adasim for the mitzvah of arba minim on sukkahs. Yeshua topic is that Chayil is not sure about this. If you have a tree which is planted in a house, Chay Orla, it's liable to Orla, or what the mice exempt from mice. See, but Aserta said, as we go, my Yotzei Ashona says so then. It has Aserta said that which is outside in the field. By a house is not a field. Amma the Gabi Orla, so in terms of Orla, I've got to see what Tatem called Eitz Machol, even though where it says there, if you plant any food tree, if it's planted in the house, it's still called a tree. But here, I mean, Yosemi Eitz, also, Yosemi Eitz Vade Laboina. You don't need more than a tree. You see, pre-Eitz Sador, but not Eitz Salos. So we doesn't have to grow in the field as long as it's an Eitz. V'chein Shanino, B'melachos, name Bikurim. I guess the Bikurim what grows inside your house. It's the tzitz, one which is in the roof or in a ruin and in a pot. Usfina in a boat, Tamua Bikuri Kol Asher Baratzom. And Bikurim which of any thing in their land. I am Sham by Mishudam. You can make it so turn over Shapir Avde. So you grow lulav or hadasim in a pot inside your house, and it's okay, it's taka kosher.